Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I'm extra casual today at a special request by a Bulldog Nation member. Billy Dennis, my good buddy, said his sister Cheryl says she likes when I dress casual on the set. They watch every day, and I want to give her Oracle status for watching every day. I also want to give Oracle status for Thomas Meyer, who comments every day on our YouTube show. He said if he got Oracle status, it would make his life. Thomas, you got it. You got Oracle status. All right, the January 6 hearings, as they unfolded yesterday, you just cannot make this stuff up. How crazy is it the National Police Union is blasting what went on? See, they got a few of these police officers go out there and do their thing. Kitzinger, Schiff, they're all crying. I mean, it's absurd. And the way they're blocking they're blocking all information, all interrogation, all witnesses, except their agenda. It's a farce. You watch. The public's going to look at these hearings, and it's just going to dig a deeper hole for the Democrats. All right, all Trump voters, 80 million of us are considered terrorists. That's what the left thinks. We are, pursuant to the January 6 hearing, white supremacy, meaning any white person, is the real terrorist threat in this country. I still cannot believe that the only person who died was a woman on Capitol Hill on January 6th, and we don't know the name of the police officer. DOJ, the DOJ, which is a political gangster, and Merrick Garland, they want all elections to be federal. Where does sits right in there, doesn't it? Nazis, fascists, communists, China, North Korea, national, ran by the national government. Who's in control of that national government right now? What do you think is going to happen there? Biden's dementia, it just keeps getting worse and worse. He mixed up Barack Obama and Donald Trump yesterday, called it a Freudian slip. Well, he has a lot of Freudian slips over and over and over again. The memes are just brutal, like that meme where he's dressed up in a Walmart greeter uniform and he says, "Hi, welcome to Target." With the memes that it's Halloween and he says, "Merry Christmas." Funny stuff. ICE says only 13% of those people who are released are showing up for their hearings. And I guarantee you those 13% have some good reason that they feel like by doing so, they'll be able to work through their process. Maybe some legitimate argument to make. Which means 87% of the catch and release, gone. Biden's government demands. Did you see this? He said, if you don't listen to what your government tells you to do, you're a lot dumber than he thoughts or thinks or something like that. Really? Where does that sound familiar? You need to believe it. Our entire government was set up to be suspicious of our government. And Biden is yelling at you that you're a dumbass if you don't listen to your government. Wow. That's where we are today. That's where we are. Who would ever think that the liberal left loves the government and trusts the government? Whatever that never trust the government, never trust somebody over 30 years old, and die and leave a good corpse. Die young. That was the hippies' way. Boy, have they changed. Immigrants and coronavirus. Another just show this total bullshit that they're worried about the coronavirus India variant is they're not doing anything to protect us from illegal immigrants having coronavirus and coming in here and going out unvaccinated, unmasked, super spreaders. And there was a report that there was in Fort Bliss where whistleblowers were told to shut up because they didn't want any information leaked out about how bad the coronavirus actually was in these places. Pretty amazing. I got to make fun of this. Boosters. You get one shot, you get two shots. Now they're saying, they're calling it boosters. Remember, you get boosters when you're a kid, your booster shots. They might need a booster, a third. And you know what they say? They say, this gives you 11 times the antibodies you need. Why do you need 11 times the antibodies that you need? All you need is the antibodies, period. You don't need 10 times that amount of antibodies. Trying to get that third shot in there. These drug companies that make these vaccinations have just ching-ching, making billionaires left and right. Forced upon us by our government. The vax pushback, it's getting greater. You had the New York Police Union pushing back on de Blasio. New York Workers Union, that's good. You know, it's happening. It's going to happen. People have had enough of the bullshit. And remember, my Saturday show is going to be an epic recap of the whole COVID bullshit. CDC, science, turns out that their latest, the basis of their latest mandate that, hey, you ought to wear masks, is based upon a non-American study that got rejected by peer review. Peer review is when the other scientists and doctors look at what you write and what you're saying and what your study says and give it a blessing of approval. It didn't get that. No peer review approval. That's what they're going on. Science. Always the science. Infrastructure. Looks like there's a compromise on an infrastructure. And there's like, I think 18, I forget the number, 12, 18, I forget. The number of Republicans who are right there with those Democrats doing their thing. Chuck Schumer just chuckles all the way to the bank. Release of violent offenders. In Chicago and other places, police chiefs have had enough. The violent offenders go in the court system. This no bond crap. I mean, it's bad. Bad, violent criminals go. Can you imagine some of these very wicked people that go in the system and they know they're getting out? I don't know if you've ever been confronted by somebody who was truly crooked, evil, bad, capable of killing. I had an encounter one time with a client of mine, and I'd never been so scared in my life. I thought this guy was going to kill me. And you could tell he didn't care about killing somebody. I mean, to know that there's people like that walking our streets because of our system is pretty scary. 18-wheeler. Speaking of Joe Biden's dementia, apparently they came out that he once drove an 18-wheeler for a living. Really? Joe Biden. This is Joe Biden. I drove an 18-wheeler, and I once farmed and drove tractors. And then there was the time that I worked on the docks and drove boats. And then I was in a motorcycle gang. Yep, the Iron Horsemen. I rode with the Iron Horsemen. And, yep, I know how to ride a Sea-Doo, too. And, I mean, this guy is crazy. He's not crazy. He's just got full-blown dementia. Car mileage standards. Good old Joe Biden is making sure we go back to the days of Obama Biden. Anything Trump did was fixing a problem. Let's unfix it. Jared Kushner. You all know that the only two children, or the only child and family members of Donald Trump that I never really did like was Ivanka and Jared. They just rubbed me the wrong way. Jared Kushner especially. Well, it turns out he's done with politics, and he's going to start an investment firm in Miami. Well, I'll guarantee you know why he's doing this? Because Trump, I guarantee you, blames Kushner for some of the crap that went on that cost him the election that they did or did not do, because Ivanka and Jared were always about placating. When Trump becomes president again in 2024, it's not going to be like it was this time around. Trump has had to learn his lesson about trying to placate the other side. By the way, look at old Joe Biden. He was going to bring all you jackwagons that voted for Biden because you thought he'd bring the country together like Trump didn't. Really? He hasn't done one. He lied. How does it feel to be lied to you so blatantly by a politician? Trump didn't lie. Trump said, this is what I'm going to do, and went out and did it. Joe Biden said, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Gets elected, does just the opposite. Old school politician. China is praising the Taliban as a military force, mocking the hell out of the United States. Do you think Xi would be doing that if Trump was president? Hell no. We are a laughingstock. And wait a minute, that's another thing. He said, oh, we're going to restore respect of America and the United States to the rest of the world. No, they didn't. They're making us a damn laughingstock. Remember that one? That's another promise. Oh, we're going to restore America. Joke. Nation of Islam. finally gets booted off Twitter, not for all their anti-Semitism. Isn't that great? In this day and age, you can stay on Twitter for being anti-Semitic, but you can't be on Twitter if you support Trump. You know what they got kicked off for? They got kicked off for questioning the vaccine. Al Sharpton, speaking of Nation of Islam, Al Sharpton has $900,000 of debt from his 2004 presidential election. I guarantee he's told them all, if you sue me, I'm going to protest outside your offices. This guy, on videotaped, was busted being involved in a murder. He's got tax issues out the yin-yang. He was behind that one girl's fraudulent representations. And the guy never gets prosecuted. Nothing ever happens to Al freaking Sharpton. It's a disgrace. The USC professor apologized, last but not least, apologized for using the word pregnant women. That sums it up, doesn't it? This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I'll be back tomorrow for all the latest wacky crap that's going on in this world.